Coach Walker, thank you for taking time with us at Off the Block blog after the all-day tournament here at SC. Um, let's just dig into the tournament. What did you see from your guys?
I think we in the locker room talked a little bit about the guys about some adjustments we want to make in games. We wanted them to play every point, with the same fight they would end of matches. So just being consistent with their energy. I thought they did a great job with it. We saw a lot of different things from the athletes, which we were very happy with the response. They had a lot of tight games today, and we were able to come back in some and able to fight through some of the battles. And I thought that was a really good thing to see this early on. I mean, I know a lot of these teams have just started, so but it's good to know that we have, we got a pretty good rhythm here from our first time seeing someone else.
This tournament was a little bit more hectic than the tournament you'll play at UCLA in a couple weeks. That tournament only has 4 teams. This one, I guess, with all the splits, you had double-digit teams, and this format was best 2 out of 3, and UCLA will be best 3 out of 5. How will you prepare differently for that tournament in a couple weeks?
I think what we're trying to do is develop the athletes where we can be more specific on defense, offense, and probably some things we want to see in games a little more strategically or executed at a higher level. So some of those things I know we can plan a little bit early out. We'll know the team we're playing. We saw a lot of the athletes today on those teams play. So hopefully we can have some type of, not as a game plan, but have something where we're a little more structured going into it. I think playing a full match obviously is prepares us better for our season. These are I feel like these are like little teases and little snippets of our guys and kind of what I guess if we just throw them into it, what they'll look like. I think we'll have plenty of time now to be able to prepare here this next week and get into a little bit of rhythm and clean up some of the stuff that we saw today. So that's good.
Let's talk about your off season, and we all know that anybody who knows you don't have an off season. You are the head coach of the men's sitting team, and also you helped out Coach David Hunt with the Pan Am team. Can you tell us more about what you did over the summer?
Yeah, I guess the summer started off. I have all my responsibilities as leader of our sitting program, and I have a great staff that was able to kind of balance some of the preparations we headed in. We had World Championships this year, which was our first chance to qualify for Tokyo 2020. We finished top 8. I don't think we've ever finished top 8, so that was good to have that type of mark. One of our other teams in the zone finished top 4, so we have some competition here for our next qualification opportunity. After that, we had a lot of sitting stuff this summer for sure. I joined. John had me travel with the men's indoor for VNL for a couple weeks, and which is it's always awesome to work with that staff and that team. Super grateful for it. And then the next opportunity was our sitting World Championships. We went to the Netherlands, and we were over there for a little bit. Had a pre-tournament in Italy, which was awesome. And then after that, we came back, had a job change, and had to move extremely quick, and get out here to Southern California. And then David Hunt had called and asked if I could just step in and just help them through the tournament. And it was great to join that staff and learn from them and observe and get to work with those guys as well. So it was a pretty busy summer. Super thankful for my wonderful wife Heather to let me have those opportunities and to get better and be better for all the teams I'm with and also for my the college team as well.
You definitely married up, right?
I did. I married up big time, so that helps.
Let's talk about your transition from Sacred Heart. What will you most miss about being the head coach of Sacred Heart as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was it's all about I can say that we recruited really great people, and from Kalani I inherited some really great guys on a team, and especially when they were working hard, and they brought my own guys in too and had a bunch of transfers, and so it's great to build that culture and be there. I still talk to a bunch of them today, and they're great. Their families. It's funny that California guys, their families are still here, and it's nice to know that they're doing well, and they just hired a new coach, and a very tenured coach, which is great for the program. I'm gonna miss the staff. I enjoyed the people I got to work with. It made it a fun place to be at. From my support staff, from our athletic trainer, our strength coach, to our academic services, they were just really great people to work with, and that's what really made it, I think, worthwhile the last few years to be there at an institution like that. So.
Right. You also brought your assistant over here, so you won't be totally alone here at SC, right?
Yeah. I was super stoked to have him out here, but it was even better because the situation at Sacred Heart, it was both part-time head coach and a very underfunded assistant, and one of my friends was able to step in and work in a more than full-time capacity, and he matched my hours that I was in the office, and was able to really develop a high skill set real quick. And I think for young people to have that type of work ethic was really cool to see. And when Jeff had hired me, and we were looking for a volunteer, I just threw it out there and said, hey, if we're looking for people with this characteristics and have this skill set, I was like, I know a guy, and so Jeff had some conversation with him, and it was really good, and super happy for him to have the opportunity to come out here.
Let's talk about how did the job at SC come about? What was the process of you getting hired here?
It was over the summer. There's a super quick transition. I had some other things that I was kind of looking at after this year at Sacred Heart, and we made some changes, and Jeff's kids. We made some changes, and my wife, we were looking for some different opportunities, even her professionally, so it really couldn't have gotten any better. She landed an incredible job out here. She's done a great job with that, and worked her way up, so it just all kind of fell into place, and the SC family's been incredible.
So you are married to a doctor, and you work with a doctor, so you're just all over the place, filled around doctors, huh?
We have I'm around very educated people, so it's always a learning experience.
Let's talk about go back to the team. Probably the big. I've been telling everybody that Jeff's biggest recruiting job this year was to bring Jack back for a fourth year. What does Jack mean to the program?
Yeah, obviously I think his performance his career here has been kind of spoken for itself, but I just know from this year and tell the guys, it's a new year for everybody, it's a new year for me. It's like my freshman year here, so getting to know the guys, and Jack brings just a whole different level of experience, confidence in the court, followed by Hugh, but he's such a great influence with the other guys and leadership and all that on the floor. So super excited to have him back this year and have him with us.
One of the coolest moments in the last few weeks was seeing Sam Lewis's video. You got to know him a little bit in the time that you've been here. What stands out to you as for Sam as a person? We all know him as the amazing middle blocker for SC, but what stands out to you for when you think of Sam the person?
Yeah, Sam and I have talked briefly about this, about just the level of kind of identity. His video, I think, speaks about his bravery to speak out on things, and I know how tough it is. I've been around. I've been around a lot of people that share the same thoughts and same beliefs as Sam, and I think it's incredible when they can speak out about it. I think it's great whenever they can have a platform at wherever they're playing sports. I think it's great whenever he has his team behind him, his Trojan family, and but I think his bravery and his confidence on it, and obviously carries over in the court for who he is as a player.
So we all know that the players that are coming back, there's Jack, there's Sam, there's John Luca, there's Chris Hall, and Paxton. Tell us about a player that we don't know about right now that you think will be a big contributor.
Yeah, big contributor. We have a transfer that came in, Vega Sloan. I think he's going to be huge for us. Really physical kid. He's been hitting some great numbers in our practice gym, and we're doing a lot of stuff with our offense, our defense, and I think he's buying into everything real quick, and quick learner for sure, super athletic. But some other guys I think, even in that same position, Tyler Resnick, Kyle Gear, some other guys that have been here. Resnick's in his senior year, and he's been doing a great job in practice. I really enjoyed getting to work with him, and but yeah, I think we have a lot of contenders for different spots, and which I think's neat. The staff and I have all talked about we actually have some really good depth and some healthy depth that we like, and where we are and skill sets. So the season should be pretty fun to follow, just because I think we have a lot of people pushing each other.
Let's talk about the season. First, let's talk about the schedule. You guys go to Hawaii, and you go to the Off the Block Challenge in Nashville. What non-conference games really stand out to you?
Well, the Hawaii trip for sure. We have Concordia and we have Hawaii there. That's going to be a big one. I think that us getting on the road to Tennessee it'll be a really good feeler to see kind of where we stand with some non-conference opponents that we won't typically. But other than that, I think Jeff's kind of developed this schedule where we believe we have some good building blocks to show us how we're going to compete once we hit conference. And we play. We'll go to Tennessee and we'll play a school like Barton, and they lead the Conference Carolinas, and then Jeff Lennox has done a great job there. So we know that we're going to play strong teams from the get-go. So that helps. And then also we open up our non-conference slate kind of scrimmaging, where we'll play Alberta. They'll come down here to do some training, and then to play in a friendly scrimmage. So right from the get-go, we're getting high-level competition. We're getting a lot of guys that potentially will have careers after college. So which is playing. So that's, I think, a really great thing to go up against.
The NPSF. BYU loses a lot. They lose 4 senior starters from their team. They lose 2 of their assistants, and I'm a big fan of Luca and Jalen, so I think that's going to leave a big void. With UCLA, they lose 4 key contributors as well, and Stanford bounces back from their a player being injured for most of last season, and another player being out for a good chunk of last season. How do you see the NPSF unfolding?
For sure, I think the nice thing about the NPSF is from top to bottom, you got to play every night, and I think that when you're talking about contending for championships and contending to put yourself in that position, I think we give ourselves plenty of opportunities for sure to compete hard every night. I think for us, a lot of teams, the turnover, and for as many returners as we have, I didn't even know today, the guys are talking about just they feel really good with what we have as far as from the start, and that hopefully translates into a little more confidence, especially when we start our non-conference, and hopefully has us build some successes along the way.
Anybody who follows you on social media knows that you've been making the most of your time in LA, visiting places and seeing all the new different sites that you probably didn't see in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What place that has stood out to you?
Stood out to me. Like you said, there's a lot of really neat things, and there's a lot of things I for sure have on my to-do list. Whenever I get some time to be away from the office, but I know my wife and I the other night went to, as a gift by our volunteer assistant Matt, we got tickets to go to a Flyers LA Kings game, and she comes from a family that's a huge Philadelphia Flyers fan. So I think getting to see my typically quiet wife, get pumped up at an ice hockey game was pretty cool to see. And that was a really cool thing for us to do, to be able to kind of get away from our work and go out. So I definitely have gone to more NHL games here than I have ever. So it's been nice to be able to do those things.
All right, I'm not gonna lay you off there. What about your favorite restaurant?
Oh, favorite restaurant. Well, I'm a foodie, so there's
Yep.
yeah, there's a good amount. We found I mean there's I want to explore Koreatown a little more as well. You know, I think any place I can get some Korean barbecue and get some bulgogi is a win. My family's coming out for Thanksgiving, so we're hoping to explore some more of those restaurants.
Well, I could just tell you, there's two categories for me in terms of Korean barbecue. There's the all you can eat, and then there's the premium.
Yes.
So you can't compare the two.
Yep.
Well, Greg, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you for your time at Off the Block blog, and we wish you and USC men's volleyball a great 2019 season.
Awesome.